Life has a way of humbling us, especially when we think we have it all figured out. Meet Jason Miller, a 17-year-old high school senior, son of a wealthy real estate mogul. Jason lived in a mansion that overlooked the city skyline. He had the best clothes, the latest gadgets, and a brand new sports car parked in the driveway. On the surface, Jason had everything, but what he didn't have was wisdom. Jason thought money could solve every problem. His parents always bailed him out. Bad grades, broken rules, failed responsibilities. And because of that, Jason believed he never had to try, until one day, reality hit him harder than he ever imagined. It was the week of final exams. Everyone in his school was stressed, preparing, pulling all-nighters. But Jason, he brushed it off. He thought he could buy the answers, just like he always did. When exam results came back, the entire school gathered in the assembly hall. One by one, the top students celebrated their success. The room filled with clapping and cheers. And then came Jason's name. The silence was deafening. His report card showed failure after failure. Jason had failed every single exam. Whispers filled the hall. Students laughed under their breath. Teachers shook their heads in disappointment. Jason's father, Mr. Miller, stood in the back, face red with embarrassment. For the first time, his money couldn't shield Jason from the truth. His son was failing at life. That evening, back at the mansion, tension filled the air. "Jason," his father said, voice stern, "I've spent thousands on private tutors, and you're still failing. Do you have any idea how embarrassing this is for me, for our family?" Jason scoffed, sinking into the leather couch. "Relax, Dad. It's not the end of the world. Grades don't matter anyway. You're rich. I'll be fine." His father slammed his fist against the table. "That's exactly the problem. You think life will hand you everything. But one day, Jason, one day, money won't be enough." But Jason didn't listen. He walked out, slamming the door, believing he was untouchable. Little did he know, life was about to introduce him to someone who would change everything. Not a teacher, not a wealthy mentor, not even his parents, but someone Jason least expected, the old gardener working outside his mansion. The man Jason barely noticed. The man Jason often mocked. And the lesson this gardener was about to teach would be more valuable than all the money in Jason's world. But how could a poor gardener possibly change the life of a spoiled rich teen? The next morning, Jason stormed outside, still fuming from the argument with his father. He pulled out his phone, scrolling through social media, ignoring the sound of a lawnmower humming in the distance. The gardener, Mr. Alvarez, was an older man in his late 50s, his clothes worn, his hands rough and calloused. He worked quietly, trimming hedges, sweating under the hot sun. Jason smirked and called out, loud enough for his friends on FaceTime to hear. "Look at this guy. My dad pays him to mow the lawn, and he still looks broke. That's what happens when you don't make it in life." His friends laughed on the other end. Mr. Alvarez, however, didn't react. He kept working, silent, focused. Jason frowned. "Hey, old man, you deaf, I'm talking to you." This time Mr. Alvarez turned, wiping sweat from his forehead. His voice was calm, steady. "You think you're better than me because you have money, but let me tell you something, young man. Money can buy a lot of things, but it can't buy character, it can't buy discipline, and it sure can't buy respect." Jason laughed, rolling his eyes. "Spare me the lecture, Grandpa. I've got everything I need, unlike you." But Mr. Alvarez just gave him a small smile, almost as if he knew something Jason didn't. That afternoon, Jason's father dropped another bombshell. "You failed every exam, Jason. No college will accept you. Until you learn responsibility, I'm cutting you off. No allowance, no new car, nothing. If you want anything from now on, you work for it." Jason's jaw dropped. "You can't be serious. You're cutting me off. How am I supposed to live?" His father didn't flinch. "Maybe you should start by talking to the gardener. At least he knows what hard work is." Jason stormed out, slamming the door again. But this time, his father didn't chase after him. That evening, Jason spotted Mr. Alvarez loading heavy bags of soil into a wheelbarrow. Against his pride, Jason finally snapped. "Hey, old man, my dad thinks I should learn from you. Can you show me whatever it is you think you know?" Mr. Alvarez looked at him, eyes sharp but kind. "I'll teach you, but only if you're willing to listen. No shortcuts, no excuses." Jason hesitated. He hated being told what to do, but with no allowance, no money, no backup plan, he had no choice. "Fine, whatever, just teach me." And that was the moment it all began. Jason, the arrogant rich teen about to learn lessons in the dirt, sweat, and soil of his own backyard. But what Mr. Alvarez would show him first wasn't just about gardening. It was about life itself. What could a gardener possibly teach Jason that school, tutors, and even his father couldn't? Jason's first day working with Mr. Alvarez was brutal. The sun blazed down as Jason struggled to push a wheelbarrow filled with soil. His designer sneakers were ruined, his shirt drenched in sweat. He groaned, complaining every step of the way. "This is ridiculous. I'm not built for this kind of work. Why can't I just hire someone else to do it?" Mr. Alvarez stopped him. His voice was firm, but calm. "That's your problem, Jason. You think success is about avoiding the hard work. But success is built in the dirt, not handed from the sky. You want to succeed, you've got to get your hands dirty." Jason rolled his eyes. "That's just gardening talk." But as days turned into weeks, something strange happened. Jason began to notice patterns. The gardener would carefully plant seeds, water them daily, protect them from weeds. At first, Jason didn't care, but slowly he started seeing something grow. A tiny green sprout pushing through the soil. Mr. Alvarez crouched beside it, smiling. "You see that, Jason? That little sprout doesn't grow overnight. It takes patience, discipline, and care, just like success, just like life." Jason frowned, confused. "So you're saying if I want to pass in life, I have to treat it like planting?" The old man nodded. "Exactly. Every choice is a seed. Plant laziness, you harvest failure. Plant effort, you harvest success. It's that simple." For the first time, Jason was silent. The words struck something inside him. But just as Jason began to take the lesson seriously, temptation returned. One afternoon, his old friends pulled up in expensive cars, blasting music. "Jason, forget this yard work, man. We're hitting the mall. Let's go blow some cash." Jason's heart raced. He wanted to go. He wanted to feel like his old self again. But then, he looked at Mr. Alvarez, patiently working, hands in the soil, and he felt torn. Would he go back to the easy, empty life of spending money, or stay here and keep learning the hard lessons of growth? Jason was about to make a choice that would either save him or ruin him forever. Jason stood frozen as his friends shouted from their cars. "Come on, Jason. Don't waste time with that old man. You're one of us. Let's go have some fun." Jason clenched his fists. He wanted so badly to join them, but he remembered the gardener's words. "Plant laziness, you harvest failure. Plant effort, you harvest success." Jason turned to Mr. Alvarez. I'm staying." His friends laughed, shook their heads, and drove away, leaving him behind. For the first time in his life, Jason chose hard work over comfort. From that day on, he showed up early, stayed late, asked questions. He learned how to dig, plant, water, prune. And with every lesson in gardening came a lesson about life. When Jason grew frustrated about pulling weeds, Mr. Alvarez told him, "Negative habits are like weeds. If you don't pull them early, they'll choke the good things in your life." When Jason complained about how long it took for plants to grow, Mr. Alvarez said, "Patience, Jason. Anything worth having takes time." Slowly, Jason's arrogance faded, his pride broke down, and in its place grew humility. Months passed. Jason didn't just learn gardening, he learned responsibility. He started applying those lessons to his studies. He studied little by little every day instead of cramming last minute. And when the next round of exams came, Jason passed. Not just barely, he improved in every subject. The teachers were shocked. His classmates couldn't believe it. His father, for the first time in years, looked at him with pride. But just when everything seemed to be turning around, tragedy struck. One afternoon, Jason went outside to find Mr. Alvarez sitting on the porch, clutching his chest, breathing heavily. Jason panicked. "Mr. Alvarez, are you okay?" The old man tried to smile, but his hands trembled. I just need to rest. Don't worry about me." But Jason knew something was very wrong. Would Jason lose the very man who taught him how to live? Jason rushed to call for help. Mr. Alvarez was taken to the hospital. Hours felt like days as Jason sat in the waiting room, terrified of losing the one person who changed his life. Finally, the doctor came out. "He'll be okay. His heart is weak, but he pulled through. He needs rest and people who care about him." Jason broke down in relief. For the first time, he realized how much the gardener meant to him, not just as a teacher, but as family. Days later, Jason visited him in the hospital. He sat by his bedside, voice trembling. "You saved me, Mr. Alvarez. I was arrogant, selfish, lost. But you You taught me discipline, patience, respect. You taught me that success isn't bought, it's don't know how to thank you." The old man smiled weakly. "Then live it, Jason. Carry those lessons forward. Help others the way I helped you. That's all the thanks I need." Years later, Jason graduated with honors. He went on to build his own business, not with his father's money, but with his own hard work. He employed people from struggling communities, giving them chances just like the gardener gave him. And outside his office window, Jason kept a small garden, a living reminder that success, like every seed, only grows through patience and care. The garden was a tribute to the gardener who planted wisdom in his heart and also reminded him of where true growth begins, a reminder of where his success truly began. Jason learned the greatest truth of all: money can buy comfort, but it can't buy character. It can buy privilege, but it can't buy perseverance. And it can buy status, but it can't buy respect. Respect is earned, success is grown, and the seeds you plant today will determine the harvest of your life tomorrow. Moral of this story: don't judge people by their bank account or their job title. Sometimes the greatest teachers are the ones society overlooks. True success isn't about wealth, it's about discipline, humility, and the willingness to grow. Jason thought money would save him, but in the end, wisdom and humility built his future. What are your thoughts on today's story? Let me know in the comments section down below. If this story inspired you, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next tale is one you won't want to miss.